This is crispy potatoes with the Matt's Way omelet. You can do this in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night. It does not matter. This is delicious all times of day. I'm gonna do the Matt's Way omelet. It's just 3 ingredients, super easy. Everyone's excited here. We're gonna start with the breakfast potatoes. Yeah, I know. We're gonna start with the breakfast potatoes, which you wanna parboil and then steam dry. So I got some hot water boiling over here, and I'm gonna add some salt to this and roughly chop up some potatoes right now. Potatoes, super important if you want crispy potatoes to use something high in starch. Not all potatoes are created equal. Yukon potatoes, russet potatoes, those are gonna be the better ones to use. All right, so I just wanna give it a rough chop, and I'm gonna put it in this boiling water. Let me fire this up first. Burner is on, water is hot, and as promised, I'm putting some salt in here, all right? So about that much salt, a little just say and it's ready. And I'm gonna give these a rough chop. I washed them before, scrubbed off all the little barnacles. Sometimes some of the potatoes have like a little funkiness in the middle. Just cut that out of the way. It's still a good potato. Not all potatoes were created equal. All right, putting this to the side. Rough chops. You want them kind of the same size, but the chunkier, the different shapes, it's actually better this way. I also prepared a few other things. I got some red bell peppers, green bell peppers, some salt, pepper mixture here. I like to just keep this mixture in the kitchen. It just keeps it easier. I can just take a pinch instead of having to do 2 pinches. All right, look how quick that water boiled. It's because I pre-boiled it over here. All right, what is parboiling? Anybody? Question? Okay, it's super simple. It's just boiling vegetables in water so that they cook, the outside cooks, and it makes it easier to not overcook or undercook when you're cooking it in oil, because the oil, the high heat, it's oftentimes the outside of the potato is burnt and super crispy and the inside is not cooked yet. That's why I just do a quick parboil. When you steam dry it, the steam will actually dry it more. So right now it's really moist when I cut this thing up, and when I put that moist potato in the oil, it's gonna bubble everywhere and it's gonna make a mess and it's gonna be so scary. So yeah, steam drying is a nice little trick to use. How can I tell? I just stick a fork or a knife into the potato, and if it feels like a piece of butter, like that, that means I'm good. Take it out. And immediately put it in the strainer and let it steam dry, like I said before, okay? All right, since I'm behind schedule on these, I'm going a little smaller on these ones. Yeah, nice and chopped and crazy looking, just how I like it. And I'm gonna give it a little mix, get those fresh potatoes on the bottom, get those big chunky ones on the top. I'd say about 2 more minutes. You'll actually see the potato starting to change color a little bit as well. So that's another indication that it is cooking. The hot water is working. You are not in some other dimension and the hot water is not cooking your food. Now we wait. Or we don't have to wait, because we have other things we can do. We can scramble our eggs, because we're gonna make an omelet as well. We can cut the onion, because we're gonna do the potatoes first. Let's cut the onion first. All right, so I've got this white onion. You can use a red onion. You can use whatever onion you like. I prefer white onion for this. Do I have a reason for that? No, this is just how I do it. This is my way. Even if you are the most novice cook, you know the technique of pre-slicing the onions like this and then going this direction. What you might not know though, is when you cut an onion in half, make sure you cut it this direction, and make sure that you don't start on this side where the stem was. You wanna start on this side. The reason for that is it stays together when you start on this side. So boom, 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 boom. So I'm just going for like little 1 centimeter cubes here. I pre-cut them all this direction, boom, boom. Great, so this is the ingredients I'm gonna be using for the potatoes. Red pepper, green pepper, white onion. I just like the color combination. You can just use 1 color pepper. You can just use onion and garlic. Oh, and garlic, of course. So yeah, 2 or 3 cloves I got here. I'm actually gonna start by cooking the onions and the peppers together, and then I will do the garlic after. The garlic doesn't need quite as much time. Look at all that steam. It is steam drying. So maybe for 5 to 10 minutes, I'm gonna let it steam dry. And then we can test it. I don't need to test it, but I will test it for you with a fork and stick it in. And yeah, you can tell like in the center, it's still a little bit tough, but it went in pretty nice. Just like butter, just like I described. El dente. Okay, I got 2 pans. What's the first step? Let's cook the vegetables first. The potatoes are steam drying. Now we can move on to the veggies. All right, we're gonna let the pan heat before we put the olive oil in. We want a hot pan, olive oil, and then we can put our onions and peppers in at the same time. Pan is getting hotter. How do I know if it's ready to put oil in? Let's just put a couple drops of water. Yeah, use your ears. This is a full senses game. The cooking game is not just using your hands and your eyes. You gotta listen too. All right, water is almost evaporated. I think it's about safe to go. In a non-stick pan, you don't need to go much crazier than that. The onions in first, like so. And a great chef friend of mine taught me this. You never want to stir the vegetables when you put them in. It is the first thing as a human you want to do. You just want to, I really want to mix it. Don't. Do not do that. This isn't my way. It is my way now. It is Matt's way now, but it's really my chef friend Kendall's way. Well, there's a scientific term called the Maillard reaction. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So what happens is the sugars and the proteins come out when in that initial cooking, that initial what's happening right now. And you're gonna smell the difference. You're gonna smell that, like, it can almost be like a char smell, and know the flavor of the veggies is coming out in its purest form. While we wait, I can add a little bit of this salt pepper mixture, like so. Ooh, I love the sound, I love the smells. I wish you guys were here with me. My camera crew is. Love you guys. We're gonna eat good today. I'm gonna smash this garlic like this. Boom. Peels nice and quick. This is how we're gonna get all those dynamic colors. It's gonna be the goldens and a little bit of black, and the reds and the greens and the whites are already there. So it's just gonna be this whole Christmas fiesta. I love it. All right, starting to make that smell that I was looking for. So what does that mean? Let's, woo! Yeah, baby. Yeah. Okay, now I was able to mix it, and now I'm gonna let it do its thing once again. I like it a little spicy. I'm gonna put some red pepper flakes in now. I've got my red pepper flakes in this fancy jar, and I'm gonna do what I wanna do, something like this. All right, and before I put the garlic in, I've got my parsley here. I'm going to just cook the stems, and then I'm gonna save this as garnish afterwards, okay? We can actually just slide this in here now. I'm not gonna mix the garlic in, so it's not actually cooking quite yet. And I'm gonna take the stem from the parsley and just give it a fine chop. You always wanna avoid having your fingers in the line of fire, so I actually kinda have the knife against my knuckles here like this. It's a little safer. You don't have to go fast, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. If you wanna go fast, enjoy that too. Okay, something like this. And now let's give it another flip. Looking at the camera, can I do it? Yeah. Oh, this is fun. We're cooking. Oh, and you can now look at the color change. We got a couple little burnt pieces, but that's all right. It's still delicious. Now, all I want is the leaves. A real thin cut this direction. I love how it expands when you like get it in a little ball like that and you start cutting it. Look at that. Nothing's gonna get bruised. It's nice and chopped. I didn't have to go, da-da. I didn't have to go crazy. Just give it a little taste for doneness. The colors look great, I know that. And then, needs a little more salt. Add a little bit more of this. This is non-stick. I want to keep it non-stick. So I'm not gonna use a spoon. I'm not gonna use metal on here. You guys probably already know this, but sometimes you forget and then you destroy your non-stick stuff. This is how you keep it around for a while. So boom. You keep it around for a while, but just using rubber or wood. Don't use metal on this thing. Don't do it. And now I checked on my potatoes. You can see how dry they've gotten. They've been steam dried. Look at that. They're ready. They're ready for the heat. So now I'm gonna add some olive oil. Boop. 3, 2, 1. Microphone on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now we're gonna work on the omelets. I'm going to grab my eggs and now I'm gonna just give it a bit of a scramble. A pan about this size, about the chest. A lot of butter because Matt loves butter. Parmesan cheese. Oh, it's so simple. Yeah, I don't do really anything else. I kind of do the potatoes to the side, the fruits on another side, but I like my omelet a little more pure. Just Parmesan, eggs, butter. That's it. Salt, pepper, salt, pepper. We should wait for the omelet. We want these potatoes to get crispy. They're going to take a few more minutes. I was just getting really excited because all this stuff is happening and everything's all laid out and I thought I was ready. I'm not ready. Cook faster. All right, let's make the 3-ingredient Matt's Way omelet. Heat first, butter second. There we go. We're going for medium heat. We do not want to burn the butter. We do not want to brown the butter. And how do you avoid that? So we got about a tablespoon, a little less than that. I'm gonna add a little more. No, this is good. So we can do the water check like we did before and see if it's ready. Yeah, it's good ready. Butter. Flip it around the pan. Make sure you get the edges done first and then you can get the butter in the middle like that. So that's why I'm taking it off the heat momentarily. And then have your Parmesan handy because you do not want that color coming. And then just give it a nice layer on the bottom like this. Now I'm just gonna let the cheese cook on its own for a moment. I added a little salt and pepper to this 2-egg mix. Okay. And then I'm gonna gently add the egg mixture, not to disturb the cheese. Ooh, potatoes are starting to get gold. Look at that. So a good indication that your omelet is ready to start rotating is you'll start seeing these little bubbles happen like this. Doop, doop. Step 1, boom. Oh, don't panic, don't panic. A little of the egg mixture came off on the side. We actually want that. That's not a bad thing. So we got about 25% folded now. Now we go for another 25%. Ooh! We got 50% folded now. Okay. Should we go for the full thing? Gotta love non-stick. This is all possible. Look at that. Look at it. All right. We can turn off the heat now. That omelet it's there. It's there. And I love redundancy. You guys know this about me, so I'm just gonna put a little butter on top and let it sink in and just think about life and just bathe it in butter. So that is done. Putting it to the side. Potatoes are crispy and done as well, which means we can add the veggie mix. Eso. Okay. And now, ooh, yeah. Turning off the heat, and we're ready to plate. Ready to plate. Ready to plate. All right, we can add a little avocado to the side, and I'm gonna put a little bit of the sumac. Sumac is salty and acidic and delicious. And if you don't know what it is, you should look into it and try it out. It's kind of difficult to find, but I discovered from my chef friend. Once again, the same chef friend I was talking about earlier. and now I use it on a lot of things. Okay, so a little avocado here. Let's put a couple strawberries to the side. Maybe on this side, that's kind of pretty. And spoon some of this aioli. Maybe just kind of like drip it on the top. Ooh, like that. Yeah, something like that. You could put it on the side too, but I know I'm gonna eat it with it, so I'm just gonna something like this. Okay, and then the perejil, do not forget about the perejil. And I'm just gonna sprinkle the parsley on top like this. And then a little bit on the eggs too. All right, and then like a little bit of salt and pepper just on the top. Fuck it, olive oil. We have all this stuff here, why not? Why not? So a little bit of olive oil on top of the omelet for some color. That's it. That's it. Crispy breakfast potatoes with the 3-ingredient Matt's Way omelet. Buen provecho. This is crispy potatoes with the Matt's Way omelet.